Shout out to our boy, though, man. No cap in his rap. He said, I am an underrated shooter, bro. You know what he did last night? Pow! Knocked down 3 threes.
He did.
Our boy from Tennessee, man.
So I talked a lot with Gary about this earlier. Let me just say this. I'm gonna get a little bit overboard on this. On the Meshack thing. The thing that Meshack has that gives him a true advantage over many of his peers is that he is a wing player who is great defensively, who totally understands what he is in the context of a basketball game, right? It is very, very hard. In fact, most guys get drafted upon showing a lot when they are in college, right? You don't get guys that get opportunities after they've averaged 6 points a game, though they were a 4-year player in college. And so then you wonder, like guys like Meshack, like how are you getting this opportunity? And again, the offense, we will see if it comes around enough. But one of the things we talked about in regards to the NBA Finals and the teams that made it there was everybody kept using the same buzzword after the draft. No, not the Grizzlies, everybody. Every team started using this new buzzword, optionality, right? And that means the ability to play against different teams. You also saw the wingspan and defense thing, as I talked about. That was a theme of the draft, and it was a theme of the Grizzlies draft as well, right? It filled wingspan and defense. And it was like, because one of the lessons of Oklahoma City is if you can play fast and you can create turnovers and you can get in passing lanes, now all of a sudden those offensive deficiencies that might very well show up in half-court basketball, you don't have to be a great half-court basketball player if you are a guy that can create all manner of runouts, right? Like they were scoring literally a quarter of their points off of turnovers. Offense becomes easy. So defense got back in style. Thus, a guy like this getting an opportunity. But all I'm going to say is a guy like that has a real leg up because we have been through all manner of wings here. It is the thing that Jalen Wells was able to do that many of the guys in the past struggled to do, which is I can star in my role. I can play this role, and I know exactly who I am within the context of this team. And a guy like Meshack has played alongside Dalton Connect. He's played alongside Chaz Lanier. He's played alongside, right? Like, he's always known. Like, that's what he does. He's a role player. It's what he is. A lot of the guys, whether it's Zaire Williams, whether it's Jake LaRavia, whether it's David Roddy, whether it's Vince Williams, whether it's G.G. Jackson, whether it's – name them. You have seen – it is hard nowadays, and I keep going back to that interview that became viral during the finals of Alex Caruso on J.J. Redick's old podcast. And he said, whether you go to Summer League and you go to the G League and whatever, and he goes, these guys think the teams are looking for a CEO. They're looking for a janitor. That's what they want. They're looking for a janitor. They're not looking for – they've got the CEO, bro. And that's not you. So somebody like a Jemai Meshack, I just hope he can knock down the three. It was nice to see him knock down 30. And he said he can knock down three.
No cap in his rap, man.
Look, because that's the only shot he's going to take. Those guys, boy, that's a struggle. When you are – that's not Zaire Williams' game. That's not David Roddy's game. That's not Jake LaRavia's game. That's not G.G. Jackson's game. You hear these old guys say – Jeff Teague jokes about this a lot. And when the older guys, when it becomes, he talked about how he talks about how Derek Fisher, he's don't get it messed up, young blood. I used to cook and blah, blah, blah. Go find my own highlights. He goes, your ass going to be standing in the corner one day too.
Then
then Jeff Teague said he was standing in the corner, and he's like, damn, man, he was right. Like, that's who you are.
He got mad at him in a moment.
They're stars and role players. And all I'm saying is with somebody like Meshack, if he can develop into, he is very again, I'm not saying pro. Summer League Lou Doherty. He is.
Yeah.
It's the size, it's the length, it's the ruggedness, it's the fight. And then it's like, but he's never going to be a guy that's giving you 14 points, right? Like, again, you've got to be able to knock down a couple shots when they come to you, keep the ball moving, which the 9 assists was good in the first one. I've been impressed. I mean, the 10 fouls is annoying in the first game, but whatever. That's, he's playing hard.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was like a playmaker either. Like, I didn't realize how, like, you know what I'm saying, just having the ball in his hand, being comfortable with the rock in your hand.
I'm just
At
happy
Tennessee,
with
he
him.
never had the rock in his hand like that.
He seems like the kind of guy that's going to come into a game and get some steals, and we're going to love it.
Yeah, this is the trade.
You know what I mean?
The trade balls he hit, swing. You know what I'm saying? That next pass, knock down the trade.
It is nice to hear him say that, he did have the confidence in himself that, like, I can shoot the ball. Like, I can do more things than I showed on the court.
That's what I'm saying. How many guys don't know what they are?
Probably 75% of the NBA.
75%.
Yeah.
Do not, and in fact, think they're being used wrong.
Exactly.
That's why I'm saying a guy like him oddly has a leg up just because he has no illusions of grandeur.
Yeah.
He doesn't think that he'd be scoring 20 points if he was used somewhere. He's already been playing like this.
Well, the other part
Keep
is
the
like
ball moving, defend. That's what you do.
Well, the other part, too, is like at Tennessee, when he's telling us that, like, at his press conference that he can do more, I'm sure at Tennessee he thought, I could do more, but that's not what they ask me to do.
Right.
And I will do what they ask me to do.
And that's...
And he's willing to do it.
To Devin's point, that applies to literally 15% of the league.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of guys think they can, like, if I get my shot, bro, I can cook. You know
and they don't want to do what's asked of them.
Nah, it's like, I want to cook.
G.G. Jackson was frustrated that they don't run plays for him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bro, you don't get plays run for you.
Just
when
who?
Look, and I mentioned this to Gary. It's that old Draymond Green interview when he's talking to all the kids at the summer camp. 2 guys get to do whatever the hell they want. The rest of y'all are roles. That's it. That's the NBA.
Yeah.
2 guys can do whatever they want. And he's talking about Steph Curry and Klay Thompson at that time.
Yeah.
The rest of y'all, you're filling a role.
Yeah.
Figure out how to be awesome in your role. And that's the same group he's talking to. And he's like, how many points a game do you think Patrick Beverly averaged in high school? And they're like 12, 6, 8.
45.
And he's like 38 or whatever.
Yeah.
In Chicago at the highest level. Everybody can. Everybody can. You know, look, we sit in here and we joke, and he jokes, about himself. Tony was Big 12 Player of the Year.
A bucket, bro.
You know what I mean?
Bucket.
But to have a 14-year NBA career, you don't get to be a bucket anymore.
Yeah.
That's it.
No roll. Now you got your jersey retired in the Raptors.
And that's all I'm saying. In all, when you see these wings come through, that was the blessing of. I really believe this to be true too. I think you see this. You see guys, you see older guys, and even some guys have come back. Like you see, like the Knicks just signed Yabusele or whatever, right? So guys that have gone through it and then they come back. Oh, now I got to figure out what you have. The vet guys, right? And then how many wing guys are you seeing now? I'm being honest. And you think about even about Oklahoma City, and it's these second rounders and undrafteds. And I honestly believe there is something to that. I really do. Because the first round guy was a first round guy because he was the best player on his team, right? Like, and so he was probably the best player on his team. And now it's like, okay, now I'm not the best player on my team. And in fact, I'm actually the 10th best player on my team, or maybe the 6th or the 7th or whatever. And I've got to kind of figure out where I fit in all of this. But I mean, you even look at their team. You look at the one that just won. It's Aaron Wiggins. It's Alex Caruso. It's Lou Dort. Kayshawn Wallace was late first, right?
Yeah, no, he was lottery.
Kayshawn Wallace was lottery.
He was the Derek Lively.
Who was the other one that I'm thinking of?
And you said Wiggins, so.
Yeah, but those are 3 of their major ones that played throughout the entire playoffs, right? Wiggins, Dort, and Caruso.
Isaiah Joe.
Yeah, Isaiah Joe was second round.
Hey, think about ours.
Kenrich Williams.
Look at the ones. The one that took the bull by the horns was freaking Jalen Wells.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it was supposed to be Vince Williams, who proved to be better than LaRavia, Roddy, and Zaire.
Yeah.
I think there's a humbleness that comes with it. Maybe. You know?
Maybe.
a humility that has to come with it. You're also, the other thing is, you are fighting to have a career when you're second round or undrafted. The first round guys are made men. If they never do anything, what, they got $10 million probably? I mean, I guess late first, you're talking. But they've certainly.
If you're a top 20, if
they've
you're a
made
top
the money,
20
bro.
pick, like
they've made money.
You've at least got 2 years, no matter what, that you are guaranteed the money before the options kick.
Well, and then there's also an entitlement that comes along with being a first round draft pick. They
roll out the red carpet for you.
Absolutely.
Oh, for sure. Names on the billboard. You know
That's
what
right.
I'm saying? Yeah.
And there's an entitlement that comes along with that. And all I'm saying is I think there's something to this. Even, by the way, who guarded SGA the best of anybody?
Nembhard.
Second rounder. Right? You can find this happening all over the place.
Yeah.
It's very strange, but it's part of it is figuring out how to be. And I'm not telling you that Jemai Mashak's going to turn into something big. I'm just saying there is a track record now where we're seeing guys that are able to be role players and fill that role. And that's been that is exactly why Vince Williams and Gigi Jackson could not get on the floor when it mattered.
And I think that's why I personally think Jalen's so good. I think Jalen has an understanding.
He knew.
He understands what he is.
Yes.
He does.
He understands where I fit in the pecking order,
He's
what I can do.
2 years removed from Sonoma State, bro.
Exactly. He has an understanding of what he is.
That's what makes me
inflation
super
at all.
excited about Coward.
Understanding of what he is. No inflation of what I'm supposed to be.
You probably would get a different Cedric Coward if he spent a year next year at Duke. Seriously. He'd have a different attitude than this year. I mean, bro, he played 7 games.
Yeah.
The basketball he has played is at Eastern Washington.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And then before that, a school that no one has ever heard of.
Willamette or whatever.
Yeah. Willamette.
Willamette, yeah.
Which I only know because of wines.
Type.
It's wine country.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Willamette, Oregon's got like some of the best wines going.
Okay.
Real?
Yeah. But I mean, again, I didn't even know there was a college there.
Yeah.
Much less that a lottery pick.
There's a lottery pick there. There's a future lottery pick.
They didn't even know.
They're going to name that city Cedric Coward University in a little bit, man.
Who knows?
Shaw
But
said.
I do think that, like, with the guys that are the second rounders and the undrafted, you're seeing they're more apt to be able to fit in. They don't have illusions of grandeur, right? They don't. Jemai Mashak knows he's never going to be the best player on a basketball team.
No.
He's already acted
Yeah.
like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, he's literally the only player that any of us have ever heard of that put on a jersey last night, and the only one that has been drafted by the Grizzlies. Wouldn't you go out and take 28 shots?
Exactly.
Right? It's just not his DNA.
Nah.
He's just not.
Make-
Wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
You're literally the only player that the Grizzlies have spent a draft pick on.